don't feel like anything can stop me. And so it's very much that pursuit aspect of life. Just I'm always on it. So when I'm on it, there's no going back. Yeah.
That's powerful. That's a powerful analogy. I wonder how many of you all listening or watching comment or just respond or think within yourself. How many of us move that way and what motivates us to move or not take action? What would you tell people? This is a follow-up to that, Bryan.
Yeah.
What would you tell people who have maybe struggled with more anxious tendencies, which have been more kind of my MO through the years, of like that it's harder actually for some of us to sit still. I've gotten way better at it. My partner, my longtime partner, Mr.
Yeah.
Scott, good about balancing me with it. But what would you say to people who struggle? Because I kind of wonder, has that typically been kind of how you move? And for those of us who maybe that's not innate to us, is
Mm.
that been something you've had to develop where you're okay with, hey, I need to recharge my batteries? Or is that just something that's part of who you are?
I I I believe I needed to create that for me because
Okay.
I used to believe that I had to outperform everyone,
Yeah.
and and if and if I'm not performing, I have no value.
Mm, mm,
And
mm,
so
mhm, mhm.
and I believe it stemmed from my childhood ultimately, that there's a certain point of life that I thought that how I was or what I did earned the love. And
Yep.
so I was
Same.
constantly doing in order for me to receive.
Yep.
Once I got to the place where I loved myself more so than anything else, and more well outside of God, to be honest,
Right.
I realized like, okay, I have to be okay with the time to recuperate, to rejuvenate, to spend more time with just that introspective thought, to develop me first, because as I'm better, I'll be better for other people. And
Right.
so very much so, it's something that I had to learn to develop this level of recuperation, of learning to recluse yourself and not always be around the people, around individuals, or
Yeah.
have to perform for
The
sure.
noise. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching says, doing nothing is doing something.
Mm.
And that I think it speaks volumes. There's a lot of
Yeah.
disconnection, distraction, and division in the world. And I think both because we are both millennials in the millennial generation, we've grown up with that, but we also grew up with like typewriters and the ushering, like beepers and pagers and like seeing all of that. And now it's like, I mean, 20 years ago, like now kids don't
That's
know what a
insane.
Walkman or a Discman is.
No, that's
Yeah,
no.
but like we were in that era where it's still like, yeah, but we also knew what eight tracks were because our grandparents might have had them, or even our parents, maybe from our grandparents. Like people were more like we were just moving as fast, and part of that's technology, and that's not all bad. But I think it's made it even harder for especially our young people coming up to just be okay to be with themselves and to be exactly who they are. It's made it harder.
A lot of them don't know time without noise. They
Ooh,
So everything is constantly buzzing within their ears. Like when you think about when they're home, parents are talking, or the internet is talking,
mm.
or their cell phone is talking. So there's always something that's
Now
speaking.
Alexa, Siri, chat.
Alexa, anything. You go to school, your friends are talking, your teachers are talking, everyone. There's they I know why I'm gonna look up this study because I actually don't even know this number, but the more I'm speaking on it now, I'm pretty sure they spend way more time of the day, uh, and probably 90% of their time listening to something than actually sitting still. And because most of them, I remember I had a conversation with one of these teens not too long ago, and she was saying that space, like time that doesn't have noise, makes her feel anxious. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's
Oh,
it's
that was me in my 20s.
Well, there you go.
I took my first solo vacation, like truly solo, was not just flying alone to go visit a friend or something, to the Bay Area when I was a vice principal doing turnaround work in Chicago public schools. And I was so burnt out. I was
Mm,
able to ask for 3 days off for the spring break. And I went to the Bay Area because I had never been there. I
mm.
had my phone shut off. I had everything shut off. I did not take a
It-
laptop. And when I say it was one of the low, I hate, oh, you're getting me to admit this and tell on myself again on air. When I think, but it's really, really good because I haven't actually even examined this until this moment. The depth, I felt such incredible loneliness
mm,
because to go into schoolwork too, and I loved school as a kid, even though I was bullied some, I still loved school. I'd still like
yeah,
I was the eternal optimist and I would find something good about it.
yeah.
And but I'm saying this to say, I'm saying this to validate anybody listening or watching, that was me as a professional 27-year-old woman with multiple degrees
I see.
that I felt like the most alone person in the world, but I was also having fun and feeling
Mm,
like a kid at the same time. Like, oh, I can just go explore whenever I want. I can sleep however late I want, like not being dictated by somebody else's schedule
right,
either.
that's right. That's right. That's powerful. That's powerful. That's
Have
real.
did you have you had those ahas then as you've developed the skill that we're kind of talking about of being more present? That like, do you have any aha moments like that as an adult? Because most people then I even talk to and they're like, that's crazy that you even wanted to just go by yourself somewhere. And I'm like, well, no, it wasn't.
Not crazy at all. I, I don't know if trying to I've had moments. I don't know if I've had long periods of time like that, but I've definitely had moments where I would be like, I remember being in Germany and I didn't have anything that I needed to do for like those that day, and I just pretty much sat in this like botanical garden the whole day.
Yes. Yep.
I
That's
was like,
what I do on
oh,
trips too. That kind of
yeah, I
now
literally
I
sat
do.
there. It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was talking to God. I saw certain things about Genesis 3 that I never saw before. And I was just
Mhm.
like, man, like this was necessary for my own personal development. And but you wouldn't have been able to find that with all the noise. And so yeah, there's definitely a piece. And I know it may scare some people because our thoughts, when we allow our thoughts to basically open up in such a way, it opens up a lot of brokenness. It opens up different pathways that we have to remember now from our past, and sometimes it's uncomfortable to sit with that, but the more and more we're able to be introspective and be able to sit with ourselves, we're now able to heal through or to process through the pains, the struggles, the difficulties in order for us to grow better into the person that we desire to become. And especially if we're working with youth, we're working with, especially the younger minds,
Yeah.
we need to be the example of healing. We need to be the example of demonstrating how to overcome the inner being.
Yeah.
Because if we want them to be at their best capacity,